Today we are going to learn how to paper weave. You will get a square, it looks like a square, but it also has a bunch of slits pre-cut into it for you. Zoom out here just a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing today. We're going to come around with a Sharpie and we're going to write your name on one side or the other. You're going to have to tell us which side is the front, and we're going to put your name in the corner, kind of small so it's out of the way and not real visible. You're going to have some color choices in your paper. This one just happens to be yellow on this side and purple on that one, so I'm not going to use the purple, but you'll get the idea even though we're not going to do that. So I'm going to teach you how to weave over and under, okay? So you're going to get the paper that you have, you're going to lift up that first piece of the strip, and you're going to go underneath it. The next one you will go over top of. Then the third one underneath. Fourth over top, fifth underneath, sixth over top. And once you get it in there, you want to slide it either to one side or the other. Make sure that it's all the way up at the top. Now it gets a little tricky, but I think you guys are capable of this. We're going to do the opposite of what we did in the first row with this one on the second row. So we're going to go, we went under the first time, so we're going to go over the first one this time, and then under the second one, over the third one, under the fourth one, over the fifth one, under the sixth one, and over the seventh one. Slide them on up to the top. Again, we're repeating the first row's pattern in the third row. So we are going under first, oops, and then over. And sometimes you do have to hold it in your hands so you could get it to go back and forth. It's not always super easy to get this to happen. I've just been practicing longer than you have. So sometimes I make things look easy that really aren't all that easy. All right, remember, we're doing the same thing on the second row and the fourth row. So we're going over the first one and under the second one. You do have to be kind of gentle with this as you're working so you don't rip it all the way off, because then we'll have to tape you back together. And don't worry about these guys. If they slide around a little bit, it's okay. We can get them back in place pretty easily. If you get stuck or you realize that you've got two rows that are doing the exact same thing and you don't have the opposite color showing, stop, raise your hand. Sometimes it's a very simple fix. Sometimes we do have to pull the whole strip out, but let us help you rather than you going on without any help or taking it all apart when you don't need to. So just bear with me. Sometimes I'm the only one in the room, sometimes not. I don't have enough room, I don't think, to fit one more in there. Yeah, this guy won't fit because he's too big, so I'm going to trim him down really quick. You might have to do this on yours as well. So I'm just cutting off a little bit with my scissors. I will let you know if you need to do this. I don't think most of you will have to. So just so it's nice and tight. Ooh, that barely fits. So they get really hard to get in there when they're really close together and nice and tight. But that helps to hold our whole weaving together. Oh, let's get that in there. All right. If it's not nice and tight like this and I were to leave that out, what you're going to have to do is glue down your squares on the edges so that we make sure that every row is secure. And you not only have to do that on the front, but you also have to do that on the back. So open your glue bottle up, make sure it's breathing, pick its boogers if you have to. And then underneath the squares on the ends, just a little dot of glue. We're just kind of making sure that they're held in place. The glue bottle's almost empty. Kind of push them down. If you get a little excess, wipe it off. No big deal. Just a little dot of glue down all of our sides. Getting all of our yellow strips on. Then you're going to turn it over and you're going to notice, oh, I have a whole other pattern. That's because the weaving strips are actually double-sided. So you have basically two weavings in one, which is kind of cool. See it from both sides. So there you have it. Once that glue is on, you're going to close your glue bottle, put it back where it came from, and then take this to the drying rack so it can dry, so that the glue doesn't get stuck to anybody else's clay projects, or I'm sorry, weaving projects as well. Have fun, guys! Remember, your first row and your third row are the same. Your second row and your fourth row are the same. Look for the checkerboard pattern. If that's not happening, raise your hand and we'll be around to help. Have fun!